Hey everyone, and welcome back to Your Brain Lied. I'm your host, and I'm so glad you're tuning in today. We're diving into something super important, something that I think affects all of us, whether we realize it or not. Figuring out what we actually want. Not what we think we should want, not what society tells us to want, but that deep down, soul-level desire. You know, the stuff that really makes you tick. Now, why am I calling the podcast Your Brain Lied? Because, honestly, our brains are tricky little things. They're survival machines, programmed to keep us safe, to fit in, to avoid conflict. And sometimes that means they'll steer us away from our true desires, even convince us that we want something else entirely. It's like your brain is trying to be a good friend, but it's giving you terrible advice. Think about it like this. You're driving down the road, and your GPS, your brain, is telling you to go straight. But your gut, your intuition, is screaming, turn left. There's a hidden gem that way. But you keep going straight because, well, the GPS is supposed to know best, right? You trust it. But then you end up on a boring highway, feeling kind of blah. That's your brain potentially lying to you. So how do we recognize these lies? How do we cut through the noise and get in touch with what we truly want? Well, it's not an overnight process, but it is a journey worth taking. And trust me, I've been there. I remember years ago I was working a job that, on paper, was perfect. Great salary, respected company, lots of opportunities for advancement. Everyone around me was like, wow, you've really made it. And I told myself the same thing. I should be happy, right? This is what I've been working towards. But deep down, I was miserable. I dreaded going to work every single day. I felt like I was wearing a mask, pretending to be someone I wasn't. I kept telling myself that it was just a phase, that I needed to stick it out, that this was the responsible thing to do. My brain was telling me, this is safe, this is secure, don't rock the boat. But the truth was, my heart wasn't in it. I yearned for something more creative, more fulfilling, something that aligned with my values. I wanted to help people in a more direct and meaningful way. But my brain was so focused on avoiding the risk of change, the fear of failure, that it was drowning out my true desires. Eventually, I realized that I was living someone else's life. I was chasing a dream that wasn't even mine. It took a lot of courage, a lot of self-reflection, and a lot of support from loved ones, but I finally made the leap. I left that perfect job and pursued my passion for psychology. And honestly, it was the best decision I ever made. It wasn't easy, of course. There were moments of doubt, moments of fear, moments where I wondered if I'd made a huge mistake. But those moments were quickly overshadowed by the joy and fulfillment I felt in doing work that truly mattered to me. So how do we start unraveling these lies our brains tell us? Well, the first step is awareness. Recognizing that your brain isn't always your best friend. It's a tool, and like any tool, it can be used effectively or ineffectively. Think about it this way. Your brain is like a committee, and everyone on the committee has a different agenda. You've got the safety officer, who's constantly warning you about potential dangers. You've got the conformity cop, who's making sure you're fitting in with the crowd. And you've got the comparison critic, who's constantly comparing you to everyone else. Now, these committee members aren't necessarily bad. They're trying to help in their own way. But if you let them run the show, you'll end up living a life that's dictated by fear, obligation, and societal expectations. You'll never truly be happy. So, how do you take control of the committee? How do you give a voice to your true desires? Well, it starts with listening to your gut, paying attention to those subtle feelings of discontent, those nagging thoughts that something is missing. Think about the things that make you feel alive. What activities do you lose yourself in? What conversations spark your curiosity? What problems do you feel compelled to solve? These are clues to your true desires. They're breadcrumbs leading you home. But be warned, your brain will try to talk you out of it. It'll tell you that those passions are impractical, that they're childish, that you should focus on something more realistic. Don't listen. Those passions are the key to unlocking your potential. They're the seeds of your future happiness. Another helpful tool is journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings can help you identify patterns and uncover hidden desires. Ask yourself questions like, if I could do anything I wanted without fear of judgment or failure, what would it be? What am I naturally good at? What do people often ask me for help with? What activities make me feel energized and inspired? Don't censor yourself. Just let the words flow. You might be surprised at what you discover. And finally, spend time with people who support your dreams. Surround yourself with individuals who encourage you to be your authentic self, who believe in your potential, who remind you of your strengths. These are your allies in the fight against your brain's lies. They're the cheerleaders in your corner. Recognizing your true desires is a lifelong journey. It's about constantly checking in with yourself, paying attention to your inner voice, and being willing to challenge the assumptions that your brain has been programmed to believe. It's about choosing courage over comfort, authenticity over conformity, and passion over practicality. It won't always be easy. There will be setbacks, there will be doubts, there will be moments where you want to give up. But remember why you started. Remember the feeling of being truly alive, of living a life that's aligned with your values, of pursuing your passions with purpose and joy. So here are a few practical takeaways to help you get started on this journey. 1. Spend 15 minutes each day in quiet reflection. Turn off the distractions, close your eyes, and simply listen to your thoughts and feelings. What's coming up for you? What are you yearning for? 2. Identify one small step you can take this week to pursue one of your passions. It could be something as simple as signing up for a class, reading a book, or having a conversation with someone who inspires you. 3. Ask yourself, if I knew I couldn't fail, what would I do? Don't edit yourself. Write it down. Really consider it. These are small steps, but they can make a big difference. Remember, it's not about becoming someone else. It's about uncovering who you already are. It's about living a life that's true to yourself. Thanks for tuning in to Your Brain Lied. I hope this episode has inspired you to start listening to your heart, not just your head. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and remember, you are capable of amazing things.